Hey y'all, hey. Okay, so I'm coming on tonight. I did a video earlier today where I was walking and I was talking about health and things of that sort. But I literally just finished turning in my finals and it took me all afternoon. Like literally I got out of church and I finished up some other things. And I had been working on these assignments for weeks, but it still boiled down to right to the last minute. And I really wanted to come on before I go climb into bed because it's going to be a long day tomorrow. Because sometimes we only see people when they are in their victorious place, and we don't get a chance to see people when they're in the valley. And today, this morning, when I led worship, one of the songs that I did was Glorious. I don't know if you guys know that. When you come into his presence, lifting up the name of Jesus, and you hear the music playing, and you see the people praising, that one. And then I was led to do this melody, yes, medley. That's what you call it, a medley of songs. And it was, huh, I worship you, Almighty God. And then it went into, there is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. And then it ended with, we exalt thee, we exalt thee, we exalt thee, oh Lord. And so we ministered those three songs. And when my pastor got up to preach, he preached about unstoppable. And when I tell you today was like a tag team for the two of them, my first lady got up and she did like a prerequisite. And she was just releasing some things that were on her heart. And it was just amazing because the prayer, the songs of worship, her ministering to us, and then him coming in and saying what he had to say about us being unstoppable. I said I was going to go back and listen to that message again. But it made me think about us because even though I just turned in my finals, I'm a little frustrated, and I have been for this term because I'm doing really well in one class. I'll probably get an A in that course. But then in the other class, I'm just not, I did not do well. Like if I look at my grades, what I currently have on the platform, unless she curves the grades in some kind of way, I'm going to be in some trouble. And I wanted to come on tonight because even though I made all the sacrifices, I did things, I do see some areas that I probably could have done a little bit better or tried. Honestly, I really couldn't try harder because of the fact that life is just life, and things were happening. I was still having to take kids to school and drop them off, and a whole episode has happened in my life over the past couple of months. The past month that really kind of turned some things around for my time management anyway. But I'm saying that because I was feeling really bad. Like last night, I just cried and woke up this morning and still kind of teary eyed right now because I set a goal for myself and I don't want to fail this class. In addition, if I don't get a C, then I'm going to have to retake this course. And since I'm paying for the courses, that's not something that I'm interested in doing. So I'm just trying to figure out what my next steps are going to be in reference to that. But I wanted to come on because I want to encourage you. Most of the people that are watching my channel are people that have been through divorce or some type of relationship, what we would consider to be a failure. And I want to encourage you to say that we all were able to grow from whatever it is that we what we went through. So even if you went through a divorce, you're not the divorce. Even if you went through a failed relationship, you are not the failed relationship. The relationship failed, but you didn't. At some point, we have to forgive ourselves for the things that we have not necessarily accomplished. And if I am not able to pass this class, I have to just choke it up and say that I have to do better next time. I have to also look at the parameters around this course. The class that I'm getting an A in, it was a lot more interesting. There was a lot more flexibility with that professor, and she gave us a assignment every week. The other class only gave us one assignment every other week, but it would be a heavy assignment. My preference would be that I would have an assignment every week and it be weighted less, because then that way if you don't do well on one, it'll pick it back up in the next one. And also this course was more of regulatory requirements, which means that there was not a lot of flexibility for creativity. You either got the answer right or you got it wrong. It was no in between as far as that was scheduled. And so those are all elements that I couldn't do anything about. At the end of the day, I can go in here, I'm finna take me a shower, I'm gonna get into bed, and I gotta just say I did my best. I gave everything that I could to the assignments that I could do. And then I had an assignment that I missed one week. Just with everything that's going on in my family, my nephew being put in the hospital, trying to assist my sister, got people here in my house. I had things that kind of broke and had to step away and take some time off to take care of that. My own health and making sure that I'm going to the doctor and taking care of myself. My son is getting ready to graduate. So there are so many components that are going on that I hadn't even had a chance to think about what I was going to do for his graduation. And it's in 2 weeks. Wednesday will be 2 weeks. It's literally 2 weeks away. And so, I'm like, I just got to figure out what the next steps are. But I wanted to come on and tell you, do not beat yourself up for not meeting whatever you thought that you should have met as a requirement. Whatever you may have failed at, if you wake up tomorrow, you get a chance to do it all over again. And even if you choose that you don't want to do that all over again, you get a chance to do something all over again. So know that you are not your relationship. Know that you are not the failed component that is associated with it. I am very comfortable in knowing that there really was not anything more that myself or my ex-husband could have done. He was meeting me at the highest level of capacity that he could have offered. And what I have learned, if I haven't learned anything else about myself, is that I can never lower my standards to meet where someone else is, but I need to be in a position where I can assure that I can come up to where the man is that's going to be in my life. If he doesn't have certain components, it's just not going to work for me. Like, we can work through some small things, but when it comes to like our intellectual conversation, our ability to stimulate each other as far as it goes with just basic conversation. So that it's even harder when you get with someone who has the need for intellectual stimulation. It would have to be physical compatibility. The mental compatibility is going to have to be there. And when I say physical, I'm not talking about being with them physically. I'm talking about I would have to be physically attracted to them. And I want them to be physically attracted to me, because if we've waited and doing it the way that I'm doing it from a Christian standpoint, then yeah, I need them to be attracted, because there's going to be some attraction that's going to be going on. So I like to throw that out there and give y'all a little laugh every now and then. But, tonight I really just wanted to come on and encourage your spirit and tell you that no matter where you are, and I'm not only telling this to you, I came on to tell it to myself. I had to tell myself that it is okay. I got up and I went out to walk. If you look at the video that I did earlier today, I had to take a walk just to decompress my mind and really prepare myself to take this exam. And then, guys, I'm going to say this. The class that I got a straight A in, pretty much, I think I got maybe about, when I looked at my grades tonight, I probably got about a 94, something like that. So by the time she put my final in, I made 100 on the final because she gave us 2 times to take the final. But listen, that professor gave us 25 questions and she gave us 2 opportunities to take the test. Do you know that the class that I was not doing well in, that professor put 100 questions on that exam? Now I have 2 whole degrees hanging up here on this wall, and this is a second degree that I'm working on, a second master's, and I don't think I've ever been in a course where a professor has given me 100 questions. I I felt some kind of way about it, and then only gave us 1 attempt to take it. So I can't, you have to put things in perspective. And I'm saying that component about those courses is that they like night and day. How is it that I'm making a straight A almost in one class and then I'm failing in the other? It's just like our relationships. You meet one person and they are a perfect fit for you. And you've met somebody else where you're like, man, I was doing the same thing for them that I'm doing for this one over here. And this one is working out just great, but that one was a failure. You can't allow, or even if you haven't met your person yet, you can't allow what your past was to determine what your future is going to produce for you. So just know that even in as much as one course may not have worked out for you, just keep pushing forward and the next one will give you exactly what you need. That course that I got the A in, it's such a boost to my confidence because it was really more realistic for what a working adult would be going through to actually be in a course like this. The average person don't have time to sit down and take a 3 hours final exam. That was ridiculous. And most likely, I did complete the evaluation, and most likely, I'm going to at least send a message or something to the dean because they need to reconsider that. The average person that is taking the courses that I'm taking or going to school for what I'm going to school for, they are working class adults. And most of the programs now, especially if they're online programs, they're supposed to be set up for that. I know they got to have so many seat hours, and I get it because I actually have a desire to be an adjunct professor myself. So I understand that at some point you have to hold the students accountable, but I also know that just like in our life, you cannot overdo it. Sometimes you got some people, spouses, or you know, partner that is just too much. They overdo it. And so I just wanted to say to you guys, be encouraged. Don't let your spirit be discouraged by whatever it is that you're going through and what you've already gone through. You know, make sure that you encourage yourself. Look at the key components about yourself that are great. And then it's okay for us all to improve on anything that we need to, increase. We all need to be working on being better. But don't let something such as myself, I'm speaking to myself, don't let something that is just a small portion of who you are determine who you truly are. Because that course is not a true representation of who I am. And I might have to retake the course. I hope I don't. I really hope that at least I can pull a C out of it. Because if I do, then I think in my program you can get 2 C's. But or as long as I keep my GPA up. So that means now I gotta make an A in another class to offset that. So if I make an A in one and then that C in the other one, that still leaves me with a B average for this term. But for tonight, just know, be encouraged. Don't let anything get you down, and just make sure that you reward yourself for the great things that you've done. One of the things that I said I was going to do when I finish with these finals is I am going to schedule a massage for myself. I have not had one probably in about a year or so, and I have a lower back injury that I just really need to go and let somebody just pull some of this stress out of my back and my upper arms. And so I say that to you, that maybe you should figure out something that you would do for yourself to reward yourself for the things that you've accomplished. And even if you haven't accomplished something recently, just for just being who you are and whatever it is that you've already worked on. So I would love for you guys to jump in the comments, give me some feedback. I also would love for you to go back and look at my video from the other day where I had on the little blue and white stripe. I think I had on a blue and white striped dress. And I asked a question about a dating community. How interested would you guys be in something like that? I would love to hear your information. I would like to get your feedback. And then I might be back in a few weeks with some ideas for y'all. So if you don't do anything else, I need for you to click like. I would love for you to share this with a friend. And then I would love for you to subscribe. Have a good night.